Alright, YouTube, B Smokehouse back here with you. Today we're going to do some chicken quarters. Now, this process for me actually I started Thursday night. Today is Saturday night. What I did was I got a brine. I didn't put it on camera, that was off camera. You guys can go and check out my pastrami video. I did the same brine minus the pink curing salt. It's not needed for this. Pink curing salt for these chickens will turn them into a hammy texture. Not really necessary unless you want your chicken tasting like ham. But I did use some of those same seasoning spices. The cardamom, the allspice berries, the cinnamon. Cup of kosher salt, a cup of brown sugar, and a half a cup of white sugar. Brought it to a boil, poured it over ice, got these chickens in there. These chickens set for a day and a half in that brine. And then I took them out, dried them off. They've been setting in my refrigerator, letting that cool air help to draw out these skins. A little bit counterintuitive. However, we are dealing with two pieces of the chicken that has max flavor, I feel. We're definitely not going to be talking about no breast, right? So we got the drumstick and the thigh portion. Let me show you here how we're going to pick up for this recipe. One of the steps I'm going to be doing here today is I'm going to be injecting these with some apple juice. I learned this from one of the guys I used to jump out of planes with. We get together pretty much every year as a portion of our reunion, and I seen him do this, and I was like, man, I'm not doing that's a little bit too into it for chicken. But I can tell you we're already got max flavor because we're dealing with two portions of the chicken that's already known to have max flavor because it's dark meat. And then that brine, I can smell the cinnamon, the cloves, the coriander, the allspice berries. I can smell it. I did toast those spices and they infused that brine. I'm smelling it, right? So I've already injected a lot of these with this apple juice mixture. Now I'll show you guys just to get this on camera and for my chart. We're gonna go in here and we're gonna fill it up. You guys see that coming in, filling up. Now this is also will be done a few times throughout the cook. These will be going on my smoker. Hopefully we don't really have too high of winds tomorrow. I can get these on the smoker with some oak and some hickory splits. This is one way to ensure these don't dry out. Now I've already done the rest of these, but I can't use the rest of this apple juice, so we're just gonna make sure, and that's gonna be about it. Alright, so these I'm going to get dried off again. I'll take some napkin, dry them off. We're going to get them, actually, just flip them over and dry the other side off. I'm not too worried about that underside being moist. I want the skin to be dry because I want a crispy product as far as my skin is concerned. Now, some people might say, well, why'd you put it into a brine? Why do you just dry brine it? Well, I find that process takes a little bit longer, and I always tend to over salt, right? I mean, it may just be the salt that I'm using. I use Morton's Kosher Salt, and I think sometimes I overdo it because those granules are a bit bigger. Could use table salt, but you're at a higher risk of over salting something because table salt is a bit saltier. Now we're gonna take these. I'm gonna dry them off. And then we're going to get these in the fridge. Stay tuned. I'm going to get them dried off. Why chicken quarters instead of just drumsticks? I find that, again, keeping these together, smoking them, absolutely more tender. The flavor is there because of the dark meat. You can see that brine has already worked on a lot of the skins of these. See how it's almost opaque and see-through? Some of these are a bit bigger, meaning they have a fatty layer, a thicker fatty layer than others. This is really small. So this will be done before anything else. But I just want to make sure these are fully packed with flavor. You see some of the remnants of some of the red chili pepper flakes that I used. Not going to be hot, but it's going to be full of flavor. I'm going to assist give this chicken a head start in drying. Again, it's been setting, it's been 2 days. It's been setting in my fridge. I want that skin to absolutely go ahead and dry out. That apple juice is going to help with flavor and help keep things on the inside moist. The next time you see me with these, I will be seasoning them up and then putting them directly on the smoker. Now, because these have been in the brine and I did just inject them, I'm not going to get any more salt on these. The rubs I'm going to use, I'll be making my own rub and maybe using a store-bought rub on a few of these. I don't want to put salt on them now because it's going to pull out all that moisture that I've just injected into there. So a bit methodical, but this is one of the easier recipes that I've done. I guarantee you, I've done this a few times before. This will be absolutely delicious. Stay tuned. I'll see you guys when I'm getting ready to get up in the morning, season this chicken, get it rubbed down, and get it straight on my smoker. Beef Smokehouse. If you haven't done so, please comment, like, share, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Hey, thank you guys for the support. I'll see you guys in the morning. Alright, it's almost time for the big moment. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to get these rubbed down. Now, I'm not using a binder on this side. I'm going to hit them with some kosher salt. Not a lot, because remember, these set in that brine overnight. The basis of that brine was kosher salt and brown sugar. We're going to hit like this. It's going to be enough for me. Alright, after that, we're going to go with some black pepper. Try to keep the seasoning as even as possible. That looks good. That looks good to me. Alright, and now we're going to finish it up with some Lawry's. Nice even coat. And that's going to be it for this side. Alright, now we're going to pat this in. I like the evenness of the way that this looks. I won't get clumps when I'm putting this on my smoker. Alright, and we're going to flip them over. I do have 2 other pieces. I'm going to season those a bit differently. Now, here's one thing I like about the brine and placing these back in the fridge. I like that skin has tautened up, right? I like that. It's going to help us get some crispy skin. Alright, but first we're going to go down with a bit of oil on the skin side. This is also going to help us get some crispy skin. Throughout this, I'm still going to be injecting with that apple juice as well. That's something you do throughout the cook. Now, again, like I said, I got that from one of my buddies who lives in Arkansas. Served in the military, jumped out of planes with him. Alright, and having done this a few times, I like the flavor it imparts. So now, here, we're going to do it in reverse. Actually, we're going to go the same way. Kosher salt. This chicken's going to be packing big flavor. Certainly, I could have just took it out, seasoned it, put it on the smoker. I promise you, if you do it this way, as compared to just putting it on the smoker, it's a different flavor. We introduced some different flavors, guys. Then we're going to get some black pepper on it. Nice even coat. Presentation wins all. And it tastes good. Nice even coat. Like the way that looks. Looking pretty good so far. Get you guys in here. And then we're going to finish it off just like we did the backside with some Lawry's. Now this won't set long because what I don't want to happen is this salt starts to pull out all of that moisture we've imparted into this chicken. Now these are going to get set aside and set back in the fridge. I'm going to go ahead and season these other 2 pieces. I'm going to go start a fire and get this chicken on. Stay tuned. Alright, let me show you where we're at. I've got some raw oak briquettes. I've got a split of hickory and a split of post oak. We're going to let that burn down, give me some good coals. The key to this, especially where I live, for when I can have unpredictable winds like today, is having a nice hot coal bed. That'll solve 99% of the problems you have if you're using an offset. Again, it's about time for cleaning on my offset. That's probably going to be my next video. No water in my little service pan down here. We're going to roll like this. I won't be back out here until these burn down and give me some coal. So probably the next 30-45 minutes, I'll throw a new split on and get my chicken on. Stay tuned. I want to show you guys where we're at. I literally just put the chicken on. The only thing I've done, I've put a new split of post oak on the fire. I also have taken some bamboo skewers and I put them on each end of the chicken where that skin is prone to draw back, especially if you're cooking too hot and too fast. Let me show you what we're looking like. Smoke is rolling. You can absolutely over smoke chicken. Chicken takes on flavor real fast, especially in this smoking environment. You can over smoke it to the point where you can get an accurate flavor. It's looking pretty good. Can you see that? We're gonna let it roll. I'm gonna let it go for the next 30-45 minutes. And then we're gonna come back and I'm gonna show you guys what I'm going to do. Stay tuned. Alright guys, we're back. This is probably the last time I'm gonna touch this chicken before it's done. Now, I wanna show you guys what I've been doing to ensure that I get prime juiciness and flavor. Alright. Here just to the side of the camera, I've got a mixture of the apple juice. And what I've been doing every 30 to 45 minutes, I'm going to take a piece of chicken here, and I'm just going to inject it with the apple juice. You see it's coming out, and I'm going all over the chicken, injecting. And so what I've been doing here the past 30 minutes, I went ahead and flipped them, and I'm going to do this to every chicken quarter that I have. Got the last remainder of my actual apple juice. I'm going into that drumstick again. This is dark meat. Now, maybe a bit overkill, but I can tell you I've got better, when I talk to people who've eaten my chicken this way, I can tell you absolutely great reviews. Chicken should be about done. I am going skin side down. I can feel it. I know that it's the skin's crispy. And I can feel the tenderness of this meat. That we are on the final stage of this cook. As you can see, I've got some veggies here. I'm gonna let these get roasted so I can put them in a plastic bag and have that excess heat go ahead and make these tender. Then I'm going to go ahead and close this video out. If you haven't done so, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate and value all the comments, the engagement that I get. Stay tuned. YouTube, B Smokehouse back here with my final product. Again, this is my smoked chicken. There's a lot that have went into this process. However, I can tell you, this trumps just seasoning a piece of chicken and throwing it on your smoker. We absolutely use post oak and hickory as a seasoning instead of just the smoke that it is. Let's recap what we did. I went out and I bought a bag of chicken quarters. I think the bag cost me about $9, and there's still chicken quarters that I did not use. I think there was a total of like 9 or 10 chicken quarters in that bag. I typically don't buy those chicken quarters unless I'm gonna cook them the next day. Now, what we did was I went through, I cleaned the chicken quarters up, got any excess fat off, any excess skin off. I then went and made me a brine. I did that off of camera. If you're wondering what brine I use, you can go and check out my video where I did the actual pastrami brisket. Now, this recipe did not include pink salt. The pink salt will have this chicken looking and tasting like ham. It'll have a hammy texture. Now, this chicken, these chicken quarters set in that brine overnight. So about 12 to 13, 14 hours. I then took them out, patted them dry. I did not rinse. I want that salt content. And remember here, we're dealing with two of the most tasteful pieces of the chicken. That leg and that thigh. All dark meat. So then I dry them off. I set them in the fridge to let that cool air help and assist to dry the skin off. I did not go ahead and salt them down because they've already been set in a brine solution consistent of the base of 1 cup kosher salt, 1 cup brown sugar, ½ cup white sugar. Now, the point is to get that sugar down to the, not the sugar, but the actual kosher salt down to the bone. I can tell you I have not tasted this yet, but I already know what it is because I get consistent results because anytime I do leg quarters, chicken leg quarters to be exact, I use the same recipe. I might change my seasonings up, but the recipe is the same. So after that, these were dried off, set in the fridge for about a day, and then I came back, hit them with some oil, and then I went with 2 different seasonings. One of the seasonings was Blues Hog. It's one of my favorite sauce brands. I like their seasonings as well. Then the other, I made my own seasoning, which consisted of kosher salt, black pepper, seasoned salt, Lawry's to be exact, and onion powder, granulated garlic powder. These then went back in the fridge after being seasoned, both sides, and then I went and I started a fire. These set on my smoker using a combination of hickory and post oak for the last right at 4 hours, right? During this process, I also injected with apple juice. A little bit different, right? You don't really see too many people doing this, but I want to absolutely make sure my experience biting into these chicken quarters, it's a hell of an experience. I already know the product I'm gonna get. I'm gonna cut into this smaller one here shortly. We did that. I did that about 3 or 4 times, doing it every 30 to 45 minutes. I also, after I injected, re-hit these leg quarters with seasoning because that liquid washes some of the seasoning off. When these temp about 165 to 175, I then pull them off. I know these are juicy and delectable. Let me show you what I mean. Here we go. Got some good color on that. I like the back portion as well. Smells absolutely delicious. See that? A little red. That's from the actual smoke. Okay? Don't get it confused with this still being raw. It's absolutely juicy. You can press it out. It's actually a place in which I did my injection. Some of that injection actually had some red chili peppers, and that's what we actually also contributing to that color. Alright, let's see what we got. Chicken's juicy. Got a hint of sweetness to it. See that? Coming off the bone. It's pretty good. I will tell you this. I'm absolutely getting the flavors from that brine. I get a little bit of that brown sugar, a little bit of that white sugar. I can taste the cardamom. I can taste the cloves. I can taste the garlic and the onion that went into that brine. It's absolutely delicious. Skin is actually bite through. The flavor is down to the bone. As opposed to just seasoning and simply sticking it on the smoker. That's a way to do it, especially if you press for time. But if you have just a little bit of time, 2 or 3 days, I promise you, people will start looking at basic chicken differently. So there's a little bit of red in there. Not to be confused with raw chicken. The juices are running clear. There's a bit of stickiness from the caramelization that has happened. My fingers are absolutely drenched in fat. That fat is rendered. The skin itself is bite through, crispy. These had a lot of fat on it. I actually went through and pulled off a lot of fat. I like that backside. Now, I don't all the time place my chicken quarters down, but because of the type of cooker that I use to cook these, I want to make sure that both sides got even browning. I like that caramelization, that Maillard reaction has occurred here. You can taste it. Now, I can tell you this is a bit tastier than just your run-of-the-mill chicken that somebody seasoned with salt, pepper, or even one of their store-bought rubs and placed on the smoker. This is what we're going for. You see the stickiness all over my hand? It's like the caramelization that has occurred. I can see grease as well as juices running from this chicken. That's what you want. Absolutely delicious. This more than likely would be used for my meal prep. I'm getting ready to go and sit down and have dinner with my family. And then I'll see you guys for the next video. If you haven't done so, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Be Smokehouse. I enjoy the engagement. I love the engagement. And we're going to continue on this journey together. We're going to continue to grow together. I look forward to any comments that you leave in the comment section. Good, bad, or indifferent. They all help me to grow. Again, Be Smokehouse. Out.